What up, what up, what up? Coach Mike coming at you. Another day, another video with a key principle that's going to help you guys during your journey through success. And it is a journey, and that's what today's message is about. It's about persistence. It's about consistency. And everybody says, be consistent, right? But there's some examples here that can back that up. One is straight from the Bible. There was a story of the persistent widow who wanted justice for her husband. And she went up to the judge and she asked for justice. The judge said no. And she came back the next day, and the next day, and the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. And eventually, the judge said, look, I don't care about you. I don't care about your husband. But because you're so persistent, I'm going to give you justice. There's another example of this too. Jerry Weintraub. He was one of the richest men in Hollywood who did tours with Elvis, The Doors. He did Ocean's 11, lots of other famous pieces of work. But the story about him and taking Elvis out on the road, it has everything to do with persistence. He found out that the manager of Elvis, the Colonel, he woke up early in the morning. So Jerry Weintraub, he would wake up at 5, 6 every morning, earlier than he normally would, and he would give the Colonel a call. And he would say, hi, my name is Jerry Weintraub. You don't know who I am, but I would like to take Elvis on the road. And he did this. Now, here's the thing that I want to kind of mix in here a little bit. There's the persistence factor, and there's the deserve it factor, right? So with Jerry Weintraub, he may not have deserved it initially, especially when he asked for that. He was undeserving, most likely. But part of the deserve it factor is persistence. So if you're not this like great, talented person, or you're not the best of the best of the best, right? But you persist, that is part of the deserve it factor, guys. That's really important. So, like, for example, we don't all have to have the story of Bill Gates, where he worked from age 21 to age 30, and he didn't take one day off, right? Jerry Weintraub, he called the Colonel every single day it lasted a year, before the Colonel finally called him back and was like, hey, do you still want to take my boy on the road? And he was like, kind of in shock, yeah, well, let's do it. And then the Colonel said, okay, meet me tomorrow in Vegas and with the check for $1 million. And Jerry Weintraub didn't have that money, but he applied the same principle of persistence. He said, yes, of course, I'll meet you. So he started calling all of his friends for $1 million. That's crazy, right? And it turns out a friend of a friend of a friend who was he ran a radio station and would do anything to get Elvis back out on the road. He lent him the money, and it's just, you got to apply this principle everywhere. He even had trouble at the bank, with getting the $1 million check and going across the street and meeting the Colonel and Elvis Presley. But he just applied the same principle of persistence. Now, one thing that I believe is that you're not always going to have to come up against these walls and get rejected. Like, there is definitely a place for preparation, right? So when you are in the midst of your journey and you persist and persist and persist, you're not getting it. You've got to understand what's working and what's not working. So there's ineffective persistence, and then there's effective persistence. You've got to be able to take action and have adequate knowledge for what you're doing, right? And then when you go out and you persist and you're getting rejected, maybe make that judgment call of, okay, is there anything that I can do different? If there's not, then keep on keeping on. But you got to know, I don't remember who said this quote, but you got a deck of cards, right? You got to know when to hold them and when to fold them, okay? But a lot of people, 50 Cent said this. He said that a lot of people who are persisting and trying to go after something, the reason why it doesn't work is because they get bored. One of the reasons why people get bored is because they don't have a strong enough why. They're not passionate about it, right? They don't wake up with a vision. So I've said a couple things here, right? Deserved factor. That can just come with hard work. You know, if you're exercising, I'm not saying take no days off. You know, I mean, you can definitely like make progress and deserve the body that you want, deserve the health and the vitality and the energy and the flexibility and the strength and the power that you want. Not working out every day, but never go 3 days without working out. That's one thing that I've heard Tony Horton say. And I mean, you just gotta figure out what works and what doesn't. I mean, you can overtrain, but when it comes to the brain, have you ever felt your brain muscle ache? I know I have, where it's like, ugh, my brain needs rest because I'm learning so much and I'm using it so much. So apply this to your brain as well. I mean, you've got to have a mental six-pack to get where you want to go, I think. You know, you've just got to be hungry for knowledge and be wise when you're persisting, right? But half of the deserved, not half, but you know, part of the deserved factor is persistence, okay? So when you're going through your success journey, make sure you're doing the principle of Canny, constant and never-ending improvement. Try to go to bed a little bit wiser, like Charlie Munger says. But also, if there's nothing more that you can do to get to your goal, and you've done everything that you can other than just hanging on to your cards, just persisting and keeping on asking. That's another principle. These things go all the way back to the Bible, guys. So they must be true. Okay? So just know that when you're getting bored, check your motives. When you're having trouble talking to people about what you want to show them, check your motives. If you're getting bored, if you're getting discouraged, it might be because you've got the wrong why, or it might be because you want something more out of them, right? I mean, I heard somebody just the other day say, you know, they have trouble bringing up their products that they want to for their customers, and you know, part of that is because this is a relationship business, I think, and when you're going through and building these relationships, I mean, I really care about people, so sometimes it can be awkward for me to like mention, well, I do fitness and I'm a coach, you know, because it's like I really don't want anything out of them. I'm not there to like get them to purchase anything. I just want to be their friend first and foremost. I just want that connection and that relationship and to get to know somebody, right? And if I can add value into their life, then yes, I want to do that, right? So whatever you do, find an adequate way to evaluate what you're doing as you persist. And think about it. Take judgment. Is this the right way? Am I doing this the best way I can be doing it? Is there anything I can do better? If not, and it's truly what you want, no matter what, keep persisting, guys. That's my message for today. I love you. Peace.